Now just take a little something sweet, not sour, a bit of salt, just a pinch. Baking these treats is such a cinch. Add a teaspoon of vanilla. Add a little more and you count to 4 and you never get your fill of cupcakes. So sweet and tasty cupcakes. Don't be too hasty cupcakes. Cupcakes, cupcakes, cupcakes!
Hi guys, this is Stephanie from Awesome Little Cupcakes. We have a cupcake truck here in Philadelphia, and today I'm going to show you how to make some Fruity Pebble cupcakes. And we're just going to do this using our basic box of yellow cake mix. So it's going to be super easy, super fun, and you're going to just enjoy these cupcakes so much. It's going to bring back some great childhood memories. Kids are going to love it, adults are going to love it, and I really hope that you enjoy this video. Thanks guys! A third of a cup of oil. And today we're going to use a cup of milk. Now the box recipe asks for a cup of water, but we're going to use milk, and I'm going to show you why in just 1 second. So we're going to take our Fruity Pebbles, and in order to infuse the cake with our Fruity Pebble flavor, I want to soak some Fruity Pebbles in the milk, and we're going to soak them for, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes to make sure that all that delicious Fruity Pebble flavor really gets infused in that milk, and we're going to use that milk to make the cupcakes with. So I'm going to soak my Fruity Pebbles right now, and I will come back and show you what to do next. So while our Fruity Pebbles are soaking here in our milk, we're just going to let that sit, and we'll start the cake mix, and then we'll go back and check on the Fruity Pebbles. So we just take our box of yellow cake mix here, and we're just going to dump this into our mixing bowl. You can use a hand mixer and a bowl. For this, you don't have to have a stand mixer. It's really simple. Just the stand mixer is a little bit easier. So we have that in there. So we're going to start off with our oil, and it's 1/3 cup of oil. Just pour that in. And then we're going to beat in 1 egg at a time. Now the mixture is going to be a little thicker than usual because we don't have any milk or water added to it just yet. But we're just going to start it off, get it started, and then we'll add the milk in later. So you just want to start off with 1 egg at a time. I crack them into a bowl. This makes it easier so that if you drop any shells in there, you can pull them right out without getting them directly into the batter. We're just going to mix this on low. Now the reason we're doing 1 egg at a time is just to make sure that the eggs and oil get combined in with the cake batter. Now we're just going to combine that just a little bit. You can see how thick the cake batter is right now, but don't worry about it, don't panic. We're going to put the milk into that in just a few more minutes. While we're sitting here waiting for our Fruity Pebbles to soak into the milk, we're just going to preheat our oven to 350. The cupcakes should take about 15 to 18 minutes. You'll know they're done when the toothpick comes out dry, or if you poke the top of them and they bounce back towards you. So we'll be back in just a minute while I preheat my oven and wait for my Fruity Pebbles to soak. Thanks guys. And now that our Fruity Pebbles are soaked in the milk, we're just going to use a strainer and right into the bowl here, we're just going to dump that out. Now personally, I don't like the soggy cereal into the cake mix, but this is a good way to infuse the flavor without worrying about getting all the soggy, gross cereal in there. So we're just going to let that. I'm just going to mix it on low for a minute or two. We're just going to scrape down the bowl a little bit here. just using the whisk attachment. It's an easy way without having to get another spatula out. Now, it's important that you scrape down the bowl because you want to make sure that nothing is stuck to the bottom, especially since we didn't use the milk right away. So there's quite a bit stuck to the sides and the bottom here. I'm just going to get that all scraped down and give it another good mix for another minute. Alright, it looks great. Now we just have to put it into the cupcake liners. Alright, so we're just using paper liners to line the cupcake tray with for however many cupcakes you want to make. One box of cake mix usually makes about 24 regular size cupcakes. I am just going to make 12 today. So I'm using an ice cream scoop here to scoop the batter out of the bowl and into the cupcake line. Just think that it's easier to use the ice cream scoop than it is to try to pour it out or to use a spoon or anything. This is a quick, easy way that you can do it. You just want to fill the liners about 3/4 of the way. You don't want to overfill them because if you fill them too much, they will go over the sides and it'll become just one giant cupcake, and we don't want to do that. So this one's a little bit too full. Are all filled here. We're just going to throw them into the oven about 15 to 18 minutes. We'll know they're done when a toothpick gets inserted and comes out clean, or when you put your finger on the top of them and the cupcake bounces back toward you. So we'll check them in a few minutes. So to make our American buttercream, we're going to need 2 sticks of butter, unsalted, a tablespoon of vanilla, a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of milk, and 4 cups of icing sugar or 10x sugar. For our Fruity Pebble cupcakes today, we're going to make some vanilla American buttercream to go with them. So we're going to need a few things here. First off, we want to start off with room temperature unsalted butter. And I'm using 2 sticks. I like a lot of icing with mine, and since it's just American buttercream and just vanilla, it can go on just about anything, so you're not going to waste any. So we'll just stick them in the bowl here, and we're using a paddle attachment to go with our buttercream. It'll help to whip the buttercream up really well. Dump that in there. And our salt. I use unsalted butter so that I know how much salt's going in there. If you start off with salted butter, you could end up with a really salty buttercream. It's really up to you. If you want to use salted, you can, but I would not suggest using salted buttercream. So I'm going to mix this on a high speed for 5 to 8 minutes. You want to start off slow and slowly move up to a high speed, but you want to make sure that you get it really, really whipped. And you want to keep whipping it until it's nice and light and white and fluffy. Now that our butter is all nice and whipped up, you can see it here all nice and fluffy. We just want to scrape down the sides and get all the butter down to the middle. Now whipping the butter for about 5 minutes is going to make for a nice light whipped buttercream. Not whipped like you get at the supermarket, but like just really nice and light, fluffy buttercream. So now we're going to add just our vanilla into the center there. And we're going to put in some of the sugar. We're going to add it in about thirds. So just a little bit at a time. You don't want to get too crazy and pour the whole thing in, because if you go to turn it on, the sugar's really light, so it'll just like poof, and just give you a cloud of sugar all over your kitchen. So we're just going to divide this into about thirds and just do it slowly a little at a time. this on low and you're going to mix it for about a minute at a time. Alright. Now we're going to add just a little bit more. Of the sugar in there. And mix that again for about another minute. As you're mixing in the last bit of sugar, you'll notice that the batter or the buttercream becomes really stiff and hard to move. This is when you want to use the milk in there. Now I'm using about 2 tablespoons. If you want a more smooth consistency, lighter consistency, not so hard, you can add a little bit more milk. I would do just a little bit at a time, a teaspoon, tablespoon at a time, and just whip it together, let it see where it is, and then do it again if you need to. I like mine a little bit thicker so that when I decorate the cupcake, it holds up really well. Alright, now that that's all done mixing, I'm just going to get a spatula, scrape down the bowl, and then give it another mix on medium for about 30 more seconds, just to make sure that there's no extra sugar left in there. The icing is all scraped down to the center of the bowl, and we're going to give it a mix on medium to high for about 30 more seconds, just to make sure that it's all well combined. Now my cupcakes here are all done, and I know because I'm inserting my toothpick here, and there's nothing on my toothpick. Probably can't see that from that far, but we can also, we're just going to let them sit there to cool while we continue to make our buttercream. So I'm just going to mix it for the last time for 30 to 45 seconds just to make sure it's all combined. Alright, now our buttercream is all ready to go here. You can see it's all combined. The icing looks great. If we take it over, it looks great, easy to move. It'll be nice and easy to get onto the cupcakes, and it'll be so good. Let's just make sure. Very good. It's nice and creamy and light, and so delicious. And it was so easy to make. It only took a few minutes. If your icing is too thin, you can always add a little bit more powdered sugar to thicken it up. If your icing is too thick, you can always add a little bit more milk, and that'll thin it out as well. You just want to do very little at a time because it will thicken or loosen up very easily. Alright, I'm going to get a piping bag so we can get ready to ice in our cupcakes once they cool. Okay, so here I have a piping bag. You can get this at any local arts and crafts store. It's really cheap to get you get a bundle of them, like 50 or 100 in a pack. It's really simple. You just take the tip that you're going to use, which you can also get at the art supply store, drop it inside and cut the end of it off so that it is sticking out there. Okay, I'm using what's number 848, just a large 8-prong star tip. You can use any tip you want. It doesn't really matter. It's your cupcake. Do what you want. Just take the bag like this, and we're just going to fold this over. Okay, and then we're going to put our hand on the inside of it, just like this, underneath that fold. And we're going to take our buttercream, and we just scoop that with a spatula right into the bag here. If your icing is super loose, the icing won't stand on the cupcakes real well, so you want to make it a little bit thick, and you also don't want it to just be running out of the bottom of the bag. Now, just a tip, if you're not used to doing this, you may only want to fill your bag about a quarter to halfway filled because handling a lot of icing can be really difficult on your hands, trying to squeeze it out as you're going. If you're not used to it, I would suggest only filling it about halfway. So I have mine halfway filled here, and we are going to just sit this here to the side while we wait for our cupcake. Alright, I am ready to put these cupcakes together so that I can try them. So we're just going to take a spoon, okay, and by the handle of it, we're just going to poke a little hole here in the center, not all the way down, just a little bit, and pull out the center of the cupcake. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm actually going to fill them with some more Fruity Pebbles. Why not? So we're going to shove the Fruity Pebbles right inside of there. Yum. And then we can put this top part back on. Sorry, my camera shut off for a second. I had to plug it in. But anyway, I finished filling up the cupcakes with the Fruity Pebbles and then put the tops back on the ones that I had tops for. Don't worry about it if you don't. No big deal. Now I'm going to take my icing and I'm going to hold it in my right hand and hold the bottom of it with my left hand. You want to make sure that you hold the top so that the icing doesn't squirt out of the top of it, and you're going to use the other hand to squeeze at the bottom. Now we're just going to put a ring on the outside of the cupcake and leave the center a little empty because we're also going to fill that with some more Fruity Pebbles. Just like that. Alright. So my cupcakes have a little hole in the top here. I'm just going to take the cereal again, put that right inside of there, right on the top like a little bird's nest. Don't worry about making a mess, it's just dry cereal. You can just pick it up. Alright, these look so ridiculous. So good, colorful, pretty, exciting to eat. You know what it is because it's right on top. It's cute. It's fun. So good. Alright, so I'm just going to get a knife, cut one of these open, and we'll give it a try. Okay, so I'm back here with my Fruity Pebbles cupcake, so we're just going to cut this open. First, let's undo this wrapper a little bit here. That looks so good. So we'll give this a little cut open here so you can see the Fruity Pebbles. It's all full of Fruity Pebbles. So yummy, so cute. Look at that. Delicious. Oh, I love it. Cupcakes are so moist and light, and you get the Fruity Pebble crunch. Oh, yum. And that vanilla buttercream on top is like having a glass of milk with your cereal. It's so good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you come back and watch some more. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to check out more of our videos. We're going to be doing tons of flavors. If you have any requests, you can just go ahead and comment and just let me know what you'd like to see me make. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Now just take a little something sweet, not sour, a bit of salt, just a pinch. Baking these treats is such a cinch. Add a teaspoon of vanilla. Add a little more and you count to 4 and you know